Teyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhisvaha Teyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangate Bodhisvaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangate Bodhisvaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangate Bodhisvaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangate Bodhisvaha. Who's there? Eric. Okay. Oh yes, yes. Okay. The practice of bodhicitta, which is so precious, and for achieving Buddhahood, when we speak about the Gati Gati, Paragati, Parasambhati, Bodhisvaha. So this is journey. For this journey, we need two things. The journey, which actually eradicates the mental defilements, to awaken, to make the Buddha nature inside come out, like removing the Seine River, Paris Seine River, right? So very dirty. You remove the dirts, then the clean water comes out, purity comes out. You remove the dirts, then the purity comes out. Likewise, the mind, remove the dirts, the purity, Buddhahood comes out. So, what actually removes the dirt? I think that we need two things. For example, some of the places they have the grass cutter. The grass cutter, the small small car. You sit on it and then you drive and it cuts the grass. So there are two things. One, it cuts the grass. Number two, it should move. You're getting it? It cuts the grass and you should also move. If it doesn't move, it only cuts the first part finish. So therefore it should also move. There are two things. Likewise, say a journey towards enlightenment, one which cuts the mental defilements, that is the wisdom. And then you should make you move. Movement is done by the bodhicitta, right? Bodhicitta. Bodhicitta gives you the energy to move, and the wisdom of emptiness cuts the mental defilements. So we need these two things. Without these two things intact, we cannot possibly go for we cannot possibly undertake this journey. Kate. Okay. For that matter, bodhicitta is so precious. In other words, it is also referred to as the two wings. The two wings of the bird to cross the ocean of samsara towards Buddhahood. The two wings of the bird, the wisdom and the compassion, bodhicitta. So this bodhicitta, and I won't say that the wisdom is more important or bodhicitta is more important. Both are equally important. So if I tell you, if you are just trapped in a cliff, and then you two holes are holding, and then if you release, right, your hand, you'll go down. So which of the two hands is more important? Which of the two hands is more important? You're holding like this, one on this wall, other on this other wall, And then if you release, right, you go down. So which of the two hands is more important? Both are equally important. Okay, so therefore the bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness. Without wisdom of emptiness, just by bodhicitta, you will never eradicate the mental defilements. You don't eradicate mental defilements, then forget about Buddhahood. Even the nirvana, you will not achieve nirvana also, right? Without the wisdom of emptiness. But without the bodhicitta, just with the wisdom of emptiness, it cannot take you to Buddhahood. Buddhahood requires a tremendous energy, tremendous motivation to become Buddha, because this is not an easy task. It requires tremendous enthusiasm. This enthusiasm will be given to you by bodhicitta. So therefore, it says that without, I don't know whether it is already translated, there's one section. Okay, page 204, English. French, we don't have. I'm looking for the dependent origination and emptiness verses for meditation, compilation of excerpts from sutras, treatises. We will have tomorrow. Okay, no problem. So what I'm saying is that this is what is said by an incredibly great saint who was the teacher of Aranagarjuna, the great saint Saraha. So what he said is, I'm going to read this slowly. What he said is that it says, by entering into emptiness, but devoid of compassion. If you don't have the bodhicitta compassion, just you have the wisdom and emptiness. By entering into emptiness, but devoid of compassion, one will not find the supreme path to enlightenment. You will not get it. One side. Number two, by meditating upon compassion alone, you have compassion, bodhicitta, but no wisdom of emptiness, one will not attain liberation, but will remain in samsara. Without wisdom and emptiness, there's no way. We have to be in samsara all the time. So it is only the wisdom of emptiness that will help us to get out of samsara. So, what is required now? We need both. The one capable of grasping the unity of the two, compassion and bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness, unity of the two, will not remain in samsara, nor abide in personal nirvana. Will not remain in samsara. They will not go into samsara. They will come out of samsara, but they will not remain in the personal nirvana, because they will achieve Buddhahood for all sentient beings. Therefore, both the sides, the wisdom and bodhicitta, both are required. Okay, with this in mind, this bodhicitta, which is so precious, it is described as the trunk, say the tree, big tree, the main trunk which holds the tree, main trunk, the Mahayana. The tree of the Mahayana is held by the trunk of the bodhicitta. So whether or not what are you doing, the practice that you're doing, the tantric practice, or whatever that you're doing, whether or not it belongs to the Mahayana teaching, it depends on whether or not that's accompanied by bodhicitta. If there is accompanied by bodhicitta, any action that you do, it becomes Mahayana practice. If you don't have the bodhicitta, if you don't practice bodhicitta, anything that you do, even tantra, that's what becomes Mahayana practice. So therefore, bodhicitta plays a very important role, and each one of us will personally experience that if by practicing bodhicitta, you get somewhere, not actually experiencing it very beautiful, even you get a slight inkling of the bodhicitta, you will see the wonder there. It's just amazing. Amazing. Okay, with that in mind, this teaching on bodhicitta was initially taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni, and then this teaching, bodhicitta, which now we see as two different methods to get to actual experience of bodhicitta. These two methods were both taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni. Buddha Shakyamuni taught these two, and then these two teachings, they were inherited by two different traditions. So the two methods, the first one is known as sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta. Sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta. One. Number two is the method of equalizing and exchanging self-others. The sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta and the method of equalizing and exchanging self-others. Two methods. Now, of these two methods, the first one, what is the first one? Sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta. Sevenfold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta. This method, the Buddha Shakyamuni taught, and it was inherited by Arya Maitreya. It was inherited. It was passed down to Arya Maitreya. So Arya Maitreya took the main responsibility to preserve this teaching, the teaching on the bodhicitta, which is the sevenfold cause-effect method. So this was inherited by Arya Maitreya. Then Arya Maitreya passed down to Arya Asanga. And of course Arya Asanga passed down to his brother Acharya Vasubandhu. And then from Acharya Vasubandhu, it came down to Acharya Vasubandhu like the 4th, 5th century AD. Then from there it came down through many teachers. Then eventually in Indonesia, Lama Selingpa, who was a prince, and who became the lineage holder of the Bodhicitta practice, such a great lineage holder of the Bodhicitta practice. So Lama Selingpa, he received that, and then in 11th century AD, then Adisha Dibangara Shirigana, it was 11th century AD, Adisha Dibangara Shirigana from India, he travelled by sea to go to meet Lama Adisha Dibangara Shirigana, Lama Selingpa, and receive all the teachings of Bodhicitta from him in Indonesia. Last year we did the Bodhicitta retreat in that place, Jambi, where Lama Adisha Dibangara Shirigana received teaching of Bodhicitta from Lama Selingpa. It was very moving the moment there. There were about like 80 participants, 82 participants there, and we were all together there. The place where Lama Selingpa gave all the teachings of Bodhicitta to Lama Adisha Dibangara Shirigana. It was a very moving moment there. Okay, so that was 11th century. So this one. Then the second method. What's the second method? The method of equalizing and exchanging self for others. The method of equalizing and exchanging self for others. This method was again taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni, then transmitted to Arya Manjushri. Okay, it was transmitted to Arya Manjushri. Okay, it was transmitted to Arya Manjushri. Then Arya Manjushri transmitted to Arya Nagarjuna. And from Arya Nagarjuna, of course, his principal student, Arya Deva, all of them were involved. And then finally, in the 8th century AD, to the Bodhisattva Shanti Deva. 8th century AD, Bodhisattva Shanti Deva. And then 11th century, same, Lama Selingpa in Indonesia. And from Lama Selingpa, then Adisha Dibangara Shirigana received these teachings. So, Lama Selingpa and Adisha Dibangara Shirigana, two of them are the points of the confluence of the two traditions. Two traditions, they merge. They merge meaning they were being inherited, they meet at the point of Lama Selingpa and Lama Adisha Dibangara Shirigana. And it is said that the Lama Adisha Dibangara Shirigana was revered as one of the greatest the scholars, practitioners of those days in India. So philosophy-wise, his philosophy is the philosophy of the Prasangika, Lama Adisha's. And the philosophy is the philosophy of Prasangika's philosophy. So philosophy-wise, he was following the highest philosophy. Then his teacher, Lama Selingpa, it is said that Lama Selingpa's philosophy was the philosophy of Chittamatra. But in terms of the philosophy, Lama Adisha's philosophy, of course, it is the much more considered as very high. But Lama Adisha, he had so many teachers. Of all the teachers, Lama Selingpa he regarded as his supreme teacher, the most important teacher, because Lama Selingpa was the one who gave him all the teaching on Bodhicittas. So therefore, he was respected. He was being regarded as the supreme of all his teachers. Okay. So Lama Selingpa and Lama Adisha, two of them were the points of the confluence of the two traditions. Then from there, Lama Adisha Shirigyana, he came to Tibet, and from there then he spread the teaching on the practice of the two methods to general bodhicitta, and from there this is how we got to now. So we have His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the point where he disseminated both the methods. Okay. So with this, first we will do the method of equalizing the exchanges of others. We'll do that. The second method first. Okay. For the second method of equalizing the exchanges of others, it has 9 steps. It has 9 steps. We need to have all the 9 steps on our fingertips. And tomorrow, I expect all of us to have the 9 steps on our fingertips. Right? Okay. We need all the 9 steps on the fingertips. They're not difficult. But particularly if you can see the link. If you can see the link connection amongst the 9 steps, then it's not difficult at all. Kapisina, you won't come here? So much light. No, up to you. Okay. Okay, 9 steps. The first one. Okay, first we'll write down all the 9 steps. First, equalizing self and others. Equalizing self and others. Number 1, equalizing self and others. Number 2, reflecting on the demerits of cherishing the self. Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing the self. Number 3, reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. Reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. Number 4, the practice of taking the sufferings of others, the practice of taking the sufferings of others with emphasis on loving kindness. No, with emphasis on compassion. The practice of taking the suffering of others with emphasis on compassion. Number 5. Number 5, the practice of giving your happiness to others, with emphasis on loving kindness. Number 5, the practice of giving your happiness to others, with emphasis on the practice of loving kindness. Okay, let me repeat this. Number 1, equalizing self and others. Number 2, reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself. Reflecting on the demerits of cherishing oneself. Number 3, reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. Reflecting on the merits of cherishing others. Number 4, the practice of taking the suffering of others, with emphasis on compassion. Number 5, the practice of giving your happiness to others, with emphasis on loving kindness. The practice of giving your happiness to others, with the emphasis on loving kindness. Okay, number 6. Number 6, actual exchange of the self and others. Actual exchange of the self and others. Actual exchange of self and others. Number 7, special recollection of the kindness of others. Special recollection of the kindness of others. Special recollection of the kindness of others. Number 8, altruism. Number 8, altruism. Number 8, altruism. Number 9, bodhicitta. Number 9, bodhicitta. Okay, so these are the 9 steps. The first thing that we have to do is that we make sure that we have these 9 steps on our fingertips. Tomorrow, if you don't have the 9 steps on the fingertips, tomorrow is holiday. Maybe 1 session on emptiness, then the rest, remaining 3 sessions, holiday. Okay, so 9 steps should be on our fingertips, right? Okay, the first step. Okay, here for the bodhicitta practice. What I might say is that if we really don't practice these steps, even if you may be very compassionate by birth, it doesn't mean that bodhicitta will automatically come to you. No, it will never happen automatically. So therefore, the actual practice, and it's quite time-taking. And at times it is struggling. You have to struggle also. It's not that it will just come very spontaneously. No, we have to struggle sometimes. It was so difficult, right? Okay, so practically speaking, in your practical life, we see that they are very difficult people. When I was, in fact, I was maybe 20 or 21 years, a very young boy, 20 or 21 years, and that time it was actually not the class yet for me to actually study the Bodhicitta, the section. I think it was on the third year or the 4th year. I don't remember too well. 3rd or 4th year. So I was just a beginner the first year, but I was so keen to learn that, to practice that. I was so keen, right? And then I tried my best with no proper teaching like this, 9 steps, 7 steps, without this. Just listen to somebody else and practicing it. Okay, doing that, then say, what is the final one? Step number 9, what is step number 9? Bodhicitta. What is bodhicitta? Bodhicitta is, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all dear Mother Sentient beings. Which means the wish, altruistic wish to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, bodhicitta is defined as the altruistic intention. Altruistic intention to become Buddha. Altruistic intention to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. This is bodhicitta. So when I meditate, right? The initial phase when I was in my early 20s, 21, 22, then I do all the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then finally step number 9. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all the sentient beings. Right? Okay, this step. Then I remember my very difficult person. There's one person. Very difficult person, right? No. Except for this person. May I become Buddha for all sentient beings except for this person. Right? This was what is coming to my mind. It's not easy, very challenging, extremely challenging. Don't ask me who that person is. Right? Okay. So difficult. But with the practice, it helps. Eventually, after several years, then say, I think of the person, it becomes like a neutral. Then no this animosity, no disliking, more like a neutral. Then at a certain stage, At a certain stage, I become so defensive of this person, seeing that because of this person's nature, so many people dislike the person. So I become so defensive. And it's the same amongst relatives. They start backbiting the person. Very spontaneous. I feel very unhappy to see that this person is being, some kind of bullied by others for being, national, for not being kind, for not being nice. So being bullied by others, I feel so pain. So I just very spontaneously, I start to defend the person. So there's a transformation taking place. So therefore, if you practice, guaranteed that the change will happen to you. And then the magic would be that, say for example, okay, say if you see somebody who has the sick or hungry, then you may give something. Okay, you have to give. You attend the Bodhicitta retreat. Be kind. So I give, 2 euros, 1 croissant. Then say, oh no, he needs more. He needs 10 euros. Okay, 10 euros. Little difficult. 2 euros is easy. 10 euros is little difficult. Okay. No, 10 euros nothing. He needs more, right? He needs 50. Right? And then Catherine reminds me, hey, you did Bodhicitta retreat. What happened? Hey, 50 euros nothing, right? I said, okay, yes. Then I don't look at it, give 50, right? Okay. Then say, no, the person is the scholarship. The person, he's so bright, he needs scholarship, right? You have to give 1,000 euros. Oh, I don't care. Right? Then no Bodhicitta. Okay. Then however much anybody tells me, no, sorry. So look, this is what I'm saying. See the feeling of love and affection. See here, there is a knot there, not. Innumerable self-cherishing knots are there, right? So with every practice, what happens is that one knot is untied, one knot is untangled, one knot is untangled, right? There are so many knots. How many knots we have? Since time immemorial, innumerable knots, right? Okay, so, but every time you practice it, mentally you practice it, and then there are some other techniques, you practice them. So over time you see that slowly the knots are untangled one by one. If you don't practice these, just simply do the 4 immeasurables. Of course, the knots are untangled, but will be not as powerful as the 2 methods. So therefore, it is not sufficient to do the practice of the 4 immeasurables, which we used to do in the morning, right? So why we are doing just the 4 immeasurables in the morning is because they are in a group. To do something of the Bodhicitta, the 9 steps, 7 steps, it is little time taking. So therefore, it is you, when you're by yourself, this is where you have to do the Bodhicitta practice. Then the point is that what I'm saying is that the knots. And at a certain point, say, some people they say that Bodhicitta, okay, that's good. So because a person cannot think about the different person. The moment the different person comes to the mind, to all beings, then the different person comes to mind. No. Right? Bodhicitta. So this, I'm sorry. Many people, they say like this. With this person, I cannot. For example, for the Tibetans, Chinese, sorry. This is where we are going wrong. This is where we are going wrong. You're getting it? Where we go wrong. Then the Bodhicitta is far away. Bodhicitta is far away. So, say for example, say the Americans and the Arabic countries, right? Arabic countries, Americans, no. Americans, not all Americans, maybe the Trump, others, no. The moment we have this attitude, Bodhicitta is far away. When the Bodhicitta is far away, no way by which you can feel this infinite happiness. Nobody is stopping you from experiencing infinite happiness. It is your self-centered attitude which stops you from experiencing infinite happiness. You're getting it? So therefore the point is that the knots, And as the knots are untied, then slowly, even what you call as, say for example, what difficult person, right? There's no difficult person. You can tackle any situation so nicely. In fact, more the difficult people, the more you feel kind, the more you feel gratitude, the more you feel grateful to those people. It's amazing practice. But if you don't do it, if you don't do these two methods, then don't expect that it will happen automatically. It will never happen automatically. You getting it? Okay. So at the most, okay, what's the difference between the young people and the older people? Right? Both have the same anger. But the young people, they don't know how to tackle it. Young people, they are very aggressive. Old people, they know the tactic, how to tackle the other person. Right? So now I'm become older. When I was 20 years, I'm very aggressive. I don't like it, I don't like you. Now I'm 50. I don't like you. I will not say I don't like you. Right? I know the techniques. Right? Okay. So therefore, as you become older, through experience, we know how to remain calm, but anger is still there. It doesn't mean that becoming older, your anger disappears. No. Right? Some people may think that, oh, my mother, my father, my grandfather, my grandmother, they don't show anger, I show anger, right? So as you grow, automatic anger disappears. No, anger remains the same. Only things you know, through experience, you know how to tackle it, right? Whereas with the practice of Bodhicitta, anger disappears. Anger disappears and you can tackle things so nicely, so effectively. You getting it? This amazingly beautiful practice. And then you see that there's nothing really there which disturbs you, right? If the weather is right, say, if the weather is sunny, it's very beautiful, sunshine day. If the weather is gloomy, cold like this, wow, very pleasant, right? In Delhi, look at, they don't have this experience. The cool, foggy weather. Delhi doesn't get this opportunity, right? We're so fortunate that we have this foggy, wet, little bit of wet, drizzling, and becoming dark very soon, right? In the winter, day short. Delhi people, they have no experience of that. We are very fortunate that we're experiencing that. So, any situation, you see that they give you joy, right? Any situation, they give you joy. Okay, so we have more detailed explanation to come. The point is that, say, the feeling of love and affection, it is something to be practiced. If you practice this, it's amazing. Body-wise, you become older and older. Mentally, you become happier. You're getting it? Whereas, without practicing this, body becomes older and older, and mentally you become more and more unhappy, right? And then you become nostalgic of your young days. So, Bodhicitta practice, this gives you such a joy in you, right? Such a joy, and it doesn't matter who you meet with, right? Who will you meet with? Say somebody who may be, say there may be a difference in your religion. Still, you feel the other person as brothers and sisters. There may be a difference in terms of two nations become enemies. But in your mind, you as a practitioner of Bodhicitta, you feel the other person as your brothers and sisters. Right? And then you meet somebody who bullies your brother, who bullies your sister, brother, so forth. Right? You know how to tackle the situation. You tackle the situation so nicely, and the other person you feel as the person who is driven by ignorance. Because of this, he or she is behaving like this. Right? And then somehow you deal with the situation, and the person changes. It's amazing. So Bodhicitta, this is such an incredibly great, the panacea to heal all our problems. Beautiful. Okay, for that matter, we have to practice it, right? These steps. First, we have to have all these steps by heart. Otherwise, what happens is that, okay, you are in your living room, or if you have a separate, the shrine room, then you have the shrine room. Okay, I should practice Bodhicitta. Yes. What are the two methods? Sevenfold something, and the what? The method of equalizing, exchanging something. How many steps are there? 9 steps. Oh, I have that in my notebook. The notebook is in the kitchen. Okay, I'll do tomorrow. Right? So the first thing that we need to have is, we need to have all these things in our fingertips. You don't have to look at the books. So that is always with you. Whether you're in your the shrine hall, whether in your living room, whether in your bedroom, wherever you are, you have these steps on the fingertips. So that you don't have to depend on books. Right? Then, the less you are dependent on external books, more easy it is your practice. Okay, 1. So therefore, the first thing that we have to do is that we need to have all these steps on our fingertips. This is so important. Okay. Then we start with the steps. What is the first step? Equalizing self and others. Okay, equalizing self and others. For the Bodhicitta practice, one must be very creative. One must be very creative. You getting it? One must be very creative for the Bodhicitta practice. And keep in mind, meanwhile, say, I'm very happy. Yesterday I was going around all the group discussions. I'm so happy that you are being very serious in your discussions, and all the discussion questions are very serious. I'm very happy. So no doubt you're going to have questions, right? Because our duration is very short, just 6.5 days. No doubt you have some questions, and I would say that, if possible, Nico, you can remind me that the last 15 minutes we'll keep for question answers. Question answers, you're getting it? So that you can ask these questions. With the questions, then things can become very clear. The doubts that you might have, you're getting it? It is very important. Okay, the first one is equalizing self and others. So the point that I'm saying is that for the Bodhicitta practice, be as creative. Be as creative. We should have the 9 steps, right? Don't be too creative, make it like 12 steps. Creative means, they make it 9. Keep it 9. Don't make it like, oh, I should be creative, I should make it like 20 steps, 25 steps. No, keep it 12. Keep it 9. Right? So the first step, equalizing self and others. Equalizing self. How to equalize self and others? Then you have your own life experience. You have seen others. You have read from the books real stories. And these you have to bring in here. So the idea is equalizing self and others. The first step, it means that you and others are same in wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. Equalizing. We're equal. You and others are equal in wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. Okay, imagine in the olden days, okay, let's say, did you notice how the Trump received the French Prime Minister? President, not the Prime Minister. President. How Trump received the Macron? President Macron? Very official with the, what do you call it? Red carpet treatment, right? Okay. They say the former presidents were also there. Former presidents, if they meet with Trump, do you think that they will receive the same treatment? No, as a president, you will receive the treatment. Why? Because they are equal status, right? Both are the head of the two nations. Likewise, another thing is that why, for example, why Buddha Shakyamuni is respected so much? Was it because he was a prince or he was a Buddha? Huh? Because he was a Buddha, not Buddha. There are so many princes, there are so many princes, right? But because he was a Buddha, that he is respected so much. So we all have the capacity to become Buddha. Me, you, the animals, the spirits, everyone, all sentient beings have the same potential to become Buddha, right? So tell me, which of the two diamonds is more clean? The diamond which you picked up from, accident picked up from the garbage, from the ditch, from the garbage, from a very dirty garbage, and the diamond that you find in the showroom, diamond showroom. Which of the two diamonds inside is cleaner? Inside is purer. Which of the two diamonds? Same. You're getting it? Same. So therefore, say the Buddha nature that I have, Buddha nature that each one of us we have, they are just identically same, meaning they are equally pure. You're getting it? So, if the Buddha Shakyamuni is respected for being a Buddha, I should respect each one of you for having this potential of the Buddhahood. You're getting it? We're all equal in having this perfect potential for Buddhahood. So therefore, for two reasons. One, we are all equal in wanting happiness and not wanting suffering. One. Number two, we are all equal in having the greatest of the potential, which is the Buddha nature. You're getting it? Okay. So now for this, how can we make it, how can we be creative? Yes, okay, let's say that, say it is, by the way, France is not really too hot, right? What time is the hottest?
August.
Huh? August, right? So August, what temperature?
30, 35.
Let's say 35. And 35, we have the class outside. 35 degrees centigrade, we have the class outside for 2 hours. And what do you feel? Now Gueshe is torturing us under the sun. You're very thirsty. You're all very thirsty, right? Very thirsty. And then, okay, you're all very thirsty. What do you thirst?
Very thirsty.
Alright, what do you thirst? Say 10 degree you're thirsty, not 90 degree. 10 degree you're thirsty. And you're all very thirsty, 10 degree. And somebody brings one glass of water. Okay. Who has the water? What is your answer? You know that everybody's thirsty. What is your answer? Hey.
Me.
What is your answer? Just speak your mind. Don't, although you may be so kind, but pretending as though that, like, okay, me. Or although you may not be so kind, saying that, give it to him. Right? Just speak your mind. Okay, you're very thirsty. Say you are 30% thirsty. Okay, who likes to drink this water? Okay, me. Anyone? Me, right? Okay, then I ask you. Okay, Ola, this water I give to Ode. To Ode. Oath. Yes? Okay, so Ola said okay. Ola said okay. This is when Ola is 30% thirsty. Right? And then you stay for another 1 hour extra. You feel even more thirsty. Right? Who likes to drink this water? Again you will say I, me. Right? You are 50% thirsty. Now you are 50% thirsty. Ola, shall I give to the frizz?
You can give me after I
Okay, after, right? Okay. Okay, now look, 50% thirsty. 50% thirsty. Shall I give to friends? Okay. 80% thirst. 80% thirsty. Shall I give to Martin? Oh no. Right? 90% thirsty? No, I like to have it. You grab at it from me. Without asking, without me asking you, people grab at it. You're getting it? So which means that I ask you now. Say you just, I want to have it. I want to drink it. I ask you, why you? Why you? What's the answer? I'm thirsty, right? Anna Sophie, you are thirsty, right? Jess Lian is also thirsty. What is Anna Sophie's answer? Yes. Who likes to have it? I like to have it. Why? Because I'm thirsty. Others also thirsty? Answer is yes. Okay. Now what unique answer is there? What unique reason is there to justify that I want to have it? What reason do you have to say that I deserve it? What reason? Self-grasping. Everybody has self-grasping, right? What reason do you have to say that I deserve this water? Okay. Huh? So what I'm saying is that who likes to drink this? Everybody's 90% thirsty now. So thirsty. By the way, did you have that experience? Terribly thirsty. Did you have this experience? How many of you had this experience? Terribly thirsty. Your body is shivering like this. Terribly thirsty. Did you understand? How many of you have never had such experience? 2, 3, 4. Okay, how many of you never had the experience of the hunger, real hunger? Presents. Huh? How many of you never had the experience of hunger? Presents. Or how many of you had the experience of acute hunger? Okay, acute hunger where you eat anything is so delicious. Where you eat anything, it's so delicious. How many of you had that experience? Good. If you have this, these are very precious experiences. Very precious experiences. Okay, right? With this in mind, what I'm saying is that who likes to drink this water? I like to have it. I like to have it. French Revolution, Russian Revolution, right? Where food is not available, right? And the little food comes, everybody's grabbing at the food. You know this? You know this? It's not just French, it's not just Russian. It's the example that I'm giving. It happens everywhere in the world. You getting it? So where everybody go to grab at it. So, okay, see, if you're the one of them who's grabbing at the bread like this, if somebody asks, why you? What's your answer? I am hungry. You will not say I'm more important. You will say I'm hungry, right? So then the next question comes. Others also hungry? Yes. I'll give you this bread to you. But tell me, what special reason do you have that you deserve this bread?
I am more hungry than.
Others will say I'm more hungry than you. You know, Julie, you're telling lies. I'm more hungry than you.
I am the first.
Huh? I'm the first one. Other ones have said that I'm the first one. You are telling, Daniel is telling lies. So what reason do you have? Yes, Marie?
Mais parce que je veux apaiser ma souffrance avant les autres. C'est parce que la personne a envie d'apaiser sa propre souffrance.
Because we want to relieve this suffering first, before others.
Okay, so others will also say the same thing? No, Mary, I will relieve my hunger first, then I'll have Marie. Right? Don't give it to Marie. First give it to me. Right? Others will say the same thing. So what special reason do you have to say that I deserve it more than others? You have no reason. You're getting it? You have no reason. Give me any reason. The same reason that you're going to give is applicable to other people as well. So from this we come to realize that we are all the same. You're getting it? We are all the same. The only reason that I have at the most is that I don't want hunger. And others also don't want hunger. They are same. You're getting it? From this, we come to realize that by no means I am not more important than others. Okay, by no means I'm more important than others. In other words, I am not more important than others. We are all same. Right? So first, you have to gain the conviction. Conviction, gain this conviction. But a self-centered attitude will say that, no, you are more important than others. This is what is happening in your mind. Self-centered attitude will say that you are more important than others. But you have to rationally understand that there's no reason why I should be more important than others. One, with this, then, when you go through situations where like this, struggling to get something first, right? Okay, so I don't know many examples here in France, but one thing most of the people they do is in the aeroplanes. Once the aeroplane lands, everybody's busy, standing up, busy. Yeah, I should go first. Right? I should go first. Right? I should go first. Okay, then say, say going first, then where do you go? You go to the baggage claim. Everybody comes there, again same. Right? Everybody wears the same thing. So you do not have anything extra to do by going first. But everybody first. Right? If you think yourself, what am I doing actually? What extra thing that I can do with this, going there first? What extra thing? I'll not get to my house the earlier. No, it's the same. We all should be there waiting at the baggage claim, right? Even 1 minute will not be faster than others. We all at the same place, but we are still driving there faster, right? So sometimes you try to stop the other person and then go fast, right? This is a clear indication that we have a deep inside we have a feeling that I am more important than others. You getting it? This is a very clear indication. Okay, then under such situation, it is it is very important. Number two, it's an amazing exercise. When you come across such situations, just observe your mind, how your mind reacts. For example, say the aeroplane lands, and then everybody, then they say the air hostess will say, please everybody sit, right? Don't get up, sit, and everybody sits. And then the aeroplane comes to halt, and then the bell rings, the sound, ding, which means now you can get up. Everybody get up, right? Everybody. And then what? After getting up, what should they do? They have to wait till the door opens, and it takes some time. Everybody waits there and cries. Oh, why not sit comfortably? Right? Why not you sit comfortably rather than sitting like this? Everybody is squeezing, right? Right? So I want to go first. Okay. So they just observe your mind, how my mind behaves, right? Rationally, you know that by no means I will reach my house earlier, right? Because we have to wait there to the baggage claim. Okay, but still my mind says, no, I have to go first. I have to go first, right? Okay, so how? Just observe this mind. Our mind behaves so illogically. What makes this mind to work illogically? Because of the self-centered attitude. You're getting it? Which says that I am more important than others. Okay. With this, my personal sharing, when I was in my first monastery, Institute of Buddhist Dialectics. Institute of Buddhist Dialectics, in those days, 1989, how many years ago? 30 years ago. Like 30 years ago, what happened was that in those days, our institute, the monastery, financially it was very poor. The monks really had to work so hard to make the income for the revenue for the monastery. So we used to make tofu. You know tofu? We used to make tofu, right? And the tofu. Okay, this is not the tofu, right? Right? Okay, you see, and still looking at it. Okay, so now making tofu, say nowadays, very sophisticated machines are very easy. Very sophisticated machines are there, very easy. In those days, no. Right? We did not have money at all. Our monastery did not have money at all to buy such sophisticated machines. Everything had to be done manually. Right? Okay, say the soybeans should be soaked, then grounded manually, not with the electric machines. Manually we have to ground it. Then it's not just 1 kg tofu, it's like 18, 20 kgs of tofu. It's huge, massive. Then all these what we have grounded, we have to boil them in a big container. And no gas fire, no electric fire, no electric stove, no gas stove. It was the wood fuel, huge wood fuel. And it was, I don't think it was like 40 degrees centigrade, maybe like 35, 36 degrees centigrade. And then it was under a tin sheet, not like a beautiful, nice roof. Tin roof, tin. Sun hits, it's so hot. And then the fire, the big fire, wood fire. And then from the top, and that is also not high, very near, right? Tin, very hot from the top, hot from the side, fire, right? So, and then say after boiling the milk, after boiling this soy milk, then it should be separated. The milk and the residue should be separated. No separator, no beautiful the nice strainer. We use the bed sheet. Bed sheet. The bed sheet, right? One monk holding the two ends. One monk holding the two ends of the bed sheet from the other side, and me holding the two ends from this side. And the fire is next to us, right? And from the top is the sun. The tin, very direct heat, sweating, right? And very heavy, right? And body so weak, no nutritious food. Body so weak, holding very heavy thing, and heat from the top, heat from the side. And then what I did, I pulled this bed sheet closer towards me so that I can run away from this fire. And the other monk will suffer. Right? Then I remembered equalizing self and others. We are all equal. I don't want this heat. He also doesn't want this heat. We are same. You getting it? We are same. So then I can easily pull it so that that he has to suffer the heat. So the thought came in me that one of us somehow has to be closer to the fire. Whether him, whether me. And there's no reason that I'm more important. We are same. You getting it? So this is how we try to apply in a day-to-day life. So with this, then the practice will grow. Practice grow. So you get this is known as equalizing self and others. Okay. So with this, the point is that the reasoning is that we're all just equal in wanting happiness, not wanting suffering. And that when I go through difficulties, hunger, thirst, cold, heat, and so forth, and then through any other situation like the aeroplane and so forth, I want to go first. I want the first. Why first? Ask yourself the question. I am feeling thirsty. I'm hungry. I want to go first. Why you? Because I'm important. Others also important. Like this, then you see that this self-centered attitude is being attacked by your reasons. The reasons attack this self-centered attitude. There's no basis for you to feel yourself as more important than others. The reasons attack you. So once the reasons attack you, then in your actual life experience, for example, say maybe for the French people, maybe on flight aeroplane, or sometimes the train, right? So like this, whatever situation, right, you encounter with, where your mind, you just observe your mind, how your mind reacts. Your mind says, no, I should go first. This is the kind of the reaction that is you observe your mind, you see as though like you are a separate person and the mind is like a small child. Right? This is what you see. Once you see that, and then you tell your mind that, hey, behave yourself. By no means you are more important than others. You and others are all equal. You are equal in wanting happiness, not wanting suffering. You are equal in having the Buddha nature. It's not that you are more important than others. Behave yourself. Just tell your mind like this. Slowly, the mind, like a small child, will slowly lose the force of the self-cherishing. The force of self-cherishing will slowly become weaker and weaker and weaker. Right? Okay. Then, say, at one point, when you are trapped in the same situation where somebody says you are 80% thirsty, somebody says, who likes to drink the water? Wholeheartedly, from inside, not just superficially, not out of diplomacy. From deep inside, you feel that, okay, it's the same, you can give to anyone. Even though you are 80%, 90% thirsty. Earlier you said, I'd like to have it, I'd like to have it. Right? And somebody says, I'd like to have it. You say, please give it to him or give it to her. Because for me, we do the same. We both wish for happiness and we don't want suffering. We are same. So give it to him if she likes, if he likes. Okay, when that happens, you have succeeded in the first step, equalizing self and others. Right? Okay, we'll recite the mantra, then we'll stop here. Deyata Om Gadi Gadi Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Swaha Deyata Om Gati Gadi Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Swaha Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhi Swaha. Okay, 3 prostrations. Oh, yes. Dedication. Page 280.
284.
Okay, 284. Dedication prayers. In the Lantern Circle by snow. Okay, Kari Rave Gorve Jingam de Panda Dewa Mani Chomben Kere Sewa Tenzin Jasoye Shabe Sede Padu Tengyuruchi. In the Lantern Circle by Snow Mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful Genesis Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the brave Manjushri and Samadhi too realize things as they are, also I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appeared in the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. Chanjo Zemjo Rembo Che Ma Ge Banam Ke Gyuro Che Ke Ba Nyam Ba Mer Ba Ya Kone Kondo Pe Barai Sho. May the Supreme Bodhicitta that is not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Through the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate the merits thus scattered towards the realization, the deeds and the prayers of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all life, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect will in the 2 stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach for enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem, I confess the negativities individually, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. A path of union of emptiness and compassion is loosely explained by the protector of the Bodha Dharma and against the snow land. You are the lotus hold that Tenzin Gyatso, we subject you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans and non-humans who help our marriage through perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the truth of the three jewels. In all our lives, never separated from perfect gurus, I enjoy the manifesting Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings on dependent origination in particular, even across my life. Three prostrations.